My name is Baldwin, and I manage the Storm to Shade program at the City of Tucson. This spot is a place called El Rio Neighborhood Center. So this is a City of Tucson facility. There's a library here, a senior center, a preschool, very multi-use space. Basically, all of this space that you can see now was just dirt. There were some nice mature trees, which we have preserved. But other than that, it was just sort of a dead dirt, a lot of concrete landscape, in combination with a heck of a lot of rooftop area between the buildings and this huge shade structure over the basketball court. A ton of water runs off into these spaces. And so we saw just massive opportunities to capture that water in basins and add all of this native vegetation. Just exposing folks who just travel through here to a new way of conceptualizing what a space can look like, with minimal care required, because it's all native plants, and once you put them in the ground and water them for a little while, then they kind of just take care of themselves. Just sort of raising the bar for how we imagine our public spaces and what they can be with a little bit of investment. I loved being outside, and I loved the way that nature made me feel. But I didn't realize that that was a career option, that anything in nature was something that I could do for a job. And so I turned my attention to human health, and for a while I thought I wanted to be a doctor, which is, woof, I'm glad I didn't go down that path. But I did end up getting a master's in public health. And then I stumbled into a job after I finished my degree at Originate Natural Building Materials. And not too long after that, I got a parking ticket. I parked downtown. I thought I could get away with it. And I got a ticket, and I was 27 and had $300 in my bank account at that point. And so I went to court and I said, can I please do community service to pay this off? And the judge was like, fine, get out of here. And so I volunteered for a watershed management group workday, working with a group of volunteers. Lisa Shippick, the executive director, was there leading that workshop. She was a young woman about my same age. And at the end of the day, she was like, you're good with a shovel. Do you want a job? And I had enjoyed myself so much that day. Was super rewarding. And so I said, heck yes. And in that work, I discovered a school called Monzo Elementary School. And I worked with the director of that school garden program to build some basins and some cisterns in front of the school, and he was just doing incredible work. And then fast forward years, he called me and he said, hey, there's a job at this school, you might want to look into it. And I did, and it was sort of my dream job. And I became the garden and ecology program coordinator at Monzo for 7 years, and that was a wonderful, wonderful time in my life. And then COVID happened, and all the kids went home. And for the very first time in 7 years, I asked myself, what would I do if I weren't doing this? And it was within 2 weeks I saw a job posting for the City of Tucson for this program. And what I had thought was I would love to do larger scale urban greening projects. Like, I want to plant trees throughout the city of Tucson, and that's basically what I get to do. I think that this program, the Storm to Shade program, is sort of the tip of the iceberg. It's just the beginning. We work on fairly small scale, and we do not have as one of our primary drivers flood control. It is for other agencies like Pima County Regional Flood Control District, and it is for the City of Tucson Stormwater Management Department. And we have had really great success in partnering with Pima County Regional Flood Control District to transform flood control facilities from what they had been for decades, which are just big basins, like, you know, maybe vegetated, maybe not vegetated. When they build a new facility, number one, we can help to steer the location of that to put those facilities in neighborhoods that need them most. And then two, to make sure that these are not just flood control facilities, but they're also green stormwater infrastructure, meaning they have all this wonderful vegetation that adds all these additional benefits, including better stormwater management, because when you put plants in a basin, the soil is much more ready to accept and infiltrate all that stormwater. So that's been a really exciting partnership. A place where there's still a lot of work to be done is in the city's management of stormwater courses in our washes, and in other sort of larger scale flood zones, where it's still a very heavily engineered approach. So an example is, we have all of these washes and arroyos that go throughout the city, and a lot of them are concreted, right? It's just this concrete, and there's no nature. In fact, it's the city's job to eliminate anything that grows there. And so you've got these volunteer trees that are sprouting up between the cracks, super resilient, hardy native trees that could add all this benefit, but they're not even allowed to, because the engineering requirement is that water be able to flow through these courses to prevent flooding. And so it makes sense in a certain way, but we could certainly be doing it in more creative ways where we are actually taking advantage of that water resource, even those larger flows, and using them to build shade and nature, and also to help us to manage the stormwater. So there's a lot of work to be done in that regard, which is really exciting to me. I think we're going that way.